In my notes, I have written, Ryan Gosling is just a boy. Psychosis? Henry Letham? Ian McGregor's accent is always weird to me. I know he's doing an American accent in this movie, but it just sounds strange knowing he's really Scottish. His American accent isn't bad at all, but compared to other actors especially.
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about when we were watching it. It's like it was interesting how his
I like
American
how we talked about the discussion, like, let's dive into the plot of the movie, and now we're just talking about right away his accent.
Yeah, I guess we could have talked about that.
I guess we could have talked about that, but whatever.
Yeah, it's worth talking about. Is
it?
How
is it, David?
Well, I mean, it was.
It was I wrote it down, but not everything written should be read.
Yeah, but it was both of our impressions.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It was both of our impressions.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth at least glossing over.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were both struck by how it was kind of amazing that you had this this British actor,
Scottish actor.
The Scotland is part of Britain.
I know.
So by saying he's British, I don't
know if the Scots like that.
No, well, I mean they
I'm joking. I'm joking.
They don't like to be called English.
Oh,
yeah, they don't. Yeah, you don't want to call them English.
No, you don't want to call them English.
But technically, Scots are British because you have the UK is comprised of the island of Great Britain and then the island of Ireland, but only there's two countries on the island of Ireland. There's the Republic of Ireland, and then there's Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom.
Well, we all come from Adam and Eve, so...
Yes.
No, I'm joking.
So, yes. So, anyway,
Ian McGregor, the British man that he is.
The British actor doing an American accent. We were both struck by almost how like normal it sounded, and it's not like Greg Laurie or Benedict Cumberbatch, whose American accents are like
gravelly and rawr.
It's like they're gargling nails or something.
Very much so. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch specifically, I feel like he's gotten better through the years. But my God, he sounds so deep. He sounds like he's Smaug from The Hobbit the entire time of his filmography lately. But he's not as egregious as Greg Laurie. Not nearly as much as House.
Yeah, when you watch House, it's just like there's some parts where he's just like, blah, 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 and you're like, what? Like, what are you even saying?
What are you even saying? And it goes on for like, I don't know, 9 seasons. I don't know. But anyway, Ewan McGregor does a pretty good job, I'd say here. Better than most British actors.
But that's really the interesting part of this movie is Ewan McGregor is such a great actor.
Yeah.
And he does a good job as an American accent because it sounds normal.
Sounds normal, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily sound, it's a little off-putting because it kind of doesn't really sound like him, but it sounds normal, like a normal American voice. And so he's actually putting effort.
Very convincing.
He's putting effort into this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And yet it seems like he's just phoning it in the whole time.
It seems like him, Naomi Watts' character, who's his girlfriend. I would even say Ryan Gosling. I know in Stuckman's analysis, he's like, I noticed Ryan Gosling's the only actor that gives it his all here. Sure, you could take that away, there's some parts where
a
lot
Ryan
of it
Gosling,
it's very much the same level as Ian McGregor.
Yeah.
Naomi, which goes to show that they were giving some stuff to this, but it has to do with what we are going to talk about. So yeah. So his accent is interesting, David, and it's very well done. Do you think is as good or better than Tom Holland's? Because Tom Holland's is like pretty natural, I would say.
I would say it's probably on par with Tom Holland because Tom Holland does in the Spider-Man films does very convincing, like American teenager sort of voice, even though he's not. Yeah,
I feel like it might just be because he's young, but I feel like sometimes it's a little too high, especially in like Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's a little too high for me.
Yeah, but
it
I mean,
kind of has the opposite effect of Benedict Cumberbatch.
There are certain times where it's because Tom Holland is is older than his character is in the Spider-Man films. So there's some parts where he's trying too hard to come off as an adolescent.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he does a pretty good job. It's difficult to compare Tom Holland's performance in the Spider-Man movies with Ewan McGregor's performance in Stay, because Ewan McGregor's performance in Stay is so monotone and just like boring.
Yeah.
Whereas Tom Holland is very emotional in like pretty much every scene in the Spider-Man films that he's in. So it's totally different. So it's really kind of hard to compare their accents, like divorced from their performance, I would say. Mm-hmm. But I would say they're probably on par with each other.
Yeah, pretty talented. I also wrote in my notes, Bob Hoskins with an exclamation point.